For 3 decades, Judge Judy Sheindlin has reigned as the queen of US daytime TV.
I don't give a rat's behind about your lease agreement or any of your personal problems.
As I saw up close in her courtroom, justice is delivered swiftly and without challenge. You're still ferocious, witty. You don't seem to even miss a beat.
Well, I'm missing a couple of beats, but I'm glad you haven't noticed. I think that my message, the overall message, continues to resonate. I find it fascinating that the more I do this and the longer I've done it, the more things change, the more they remain the same.
No wonder the 82-year-old is seen as an institution. Her pragmatic, common-sense judgment is the sort you'd expect from a really sharp grandmother. And when we talk about women in particular, those, for example, who remain at the top of their game for decades, I think of our late Queen Elizabeth II, who obviously...
Oh, well, that's a big compliment. Even in the same sentence, that's a big compliment.
And I guess part of her appeal was this enduring presence in crossing over into different generations. And I think that's something that you've been able to do successfully.
When she said, when she became queen, that she was devoting her life to the people of the UK, she did that. And the monarchy, and I always felt that America wanted a monarchy, you know, with the Kennedys and the Bushes, and looked towards the UK when she was the queen for consistency, moderation. So she commanded respect because she dedicated herself to her people, her life to her people. I never got the impression that she was warm and fuzzy. Socially, even with her children, I never got the impression that she was warm and fuzzy, like Diana was warm and fuzzy with her children. But she commanded respect, and that's what you need in a leader. Your leader has to command respect.
I mean, you are still technically the reigning queen of daytime TV here.
The queen of court, the queen of daytime, the queen, but nobody is the queen. Only Elizabeth is the queen.
She's passed the mantle on to King Charles. What would you rate his performance at the moment? Do you think he's been effective?
I don't think that the constituents have the same feeling for him. I think that you're supposed to regard the position, and I think that they're respectful. But I somehow don't think that he is embraced the same way as she was embraced.
And perhaps that will come with time. The longer he continues to do the job.
Yeah, well, you have to start when you're younger. You have to start when you're 20. If you start when you're 70, you don't have that much time to get
he's literally sprinting, isn't he?
Yes, he's sprinting.
She ended her famous show, Judge Judy, after a quarter of a century and launched Judy Justice on Amazon Prime in 2021.
If you can't hold your liquor, don't drink. If you're retired and you sleep until noon because you're drunk every day, that's not a smart thing for you.
A former criminal and family court judge, Judy has criticised the UK's Sentencing Council for new proposals telling judges in England and Wales they must consider a defendant's ethnicity, religion and gender when deciding whether to send them to prison.
What is your race, ethnicity, or gender have to do with going into a grocery store and taking out a gun and taking $50 out of the cash register, or hitting somebody over the head with a golf club and stealing their wallet? To me, the justice system in sentencing only has two purposes, either punishment or rehabilitation. Would that be a fair statement? Either you're going to put someone in jail because you're going to punish them for the crime to send a message to the rest of the community, this is what happens, and also to keep the community safe away from someone who you consider violent, or rehabilitation. I don't see how those criteria that you just mentioned have anything to do with rehabilitation. So if we're concentrating on punishment, and you are separating some people from others and saying, well, you must consider race, gender, ethnicity, something other than a propensity to continue to recidivate and continue to commit crimes. I would be furious as somebody if I didn't fit one of those criteria. it's a mistake. You know, sometimes well-intentioned people create bad law. And the problem is that usually innocents who have nothing to do with that mentality are usually the ones that suffer because they become the next victim.
And that's why critics argue that by implementing these potential changes, it would create a two-tier justice system, which would then see other people from other backgrounds demonized in a way.
Yeah, well, what if you don't fit into one of those categories? But, you know, you wake up one morning and say, today I'm a cat and I want to pee in a kitty litter. Do you know what I mean?